Before the earth was created, there were other aeons. There were other civilizations. There were other realms. God was called creator, not when he started with earth. The Bible said in the beginning, God created heaven. So he was creator many aeons before it became necessary to create earth. And before men were created, God had created many other ranking entities. Princes in Zion. Some of them have statures of rulers. Even when they fell, they were still recognized as rulers of darkness. Because of the level of scepter they were wielding in the realm of God. They were created princes. So even in the state of their fall, if you make a mistake of undermining them, you'll be in trouble. They are called the rulers of the darkness of this world. Now, all of this happened before man came. And even in the realm of God, there are some that were not given designation. They were called elders. So they have become so old. And only God knows what reference was used to judge their age. Because they are living in a realm where time does not exist. In the realms eternal, time is not a framework of reference. Now, if a being is living in a realm where there is no time and is called an elder, the question you ask yourself is, by what parameter was your age judged? How did you become an elder? It means there are many businesses in the corridors of light that creatures that have existed before us are already actively participating in. And so when God created us, we were novices. In fact, we were so much of novices that a fallen prince could deceive Adam cheaply. He didn't need a rehearsal. He showed up and looked at him, and he saw him as the last born of creation. He said, before you came here, there's a government beyond the stars. I was in the realms of God. I walked in the midst of the coals of fire. I know the ways of Abba. When God was contemplating creating your civilization, we were there. We sang into the foundation of the earth. I'm a singer. I know the mysteries of sound. In the corridors of glory, I am a captain of sound. And God cannot function without sound. I know how your makeup was designed. And when he looked at the man, he saw his naivety and it deceived him cheaply. And the reason the man fell was because he didn't know that there was a government. You know, I can walk into the UK now, and because I see a lot of advanced civilization, there is a train, there is football pitches, there are so many things, I can begin to enjoy myself and forget that there is an ancient monarch that exists in a place that regulates this civilization. And if I'm not careful, if I fall into rebellion, that monarch can use this system to find me and eject me. Because it may look as if the territory is free, but there is a system regulating it. And that monarchy is more ancient than my grandfather's. Some of the buildings standing here were built 1,000 years ago, when no cell, no chromosome had matured to think of bringing me. So I can come into this civilization and forget that there's a government, that everything I'm seeing is not random. Everything I'm seeing is regulated, highly regulated. And for me to be relevant, I must enter that government and align myself. So when Adam came, he didn't know that there was a government, that he needed to align himself. He went on a journey of his own devising. He saw apple and he said, wow, these fruits are healthy. He chewed some and he was having fun. He saw the river. He went and was swimming. He didn't know that there was a government he was sent here to represent. That earth was a constituency amongst many constituencies. He would have asked himself, why is Michael called Ark? If he would have asked some question, why is he called Ark? It means there's a quadrant that this guy commands. So he's a commander among certain angels that operate in a government. He didn't know a civilization was going on. And so he fell. And since that man fell, God has been on a project of recuperation, of restoring and of redeeming the earth. Because his constituency is about to be cut off. A county is about to be cut off. In the heavens, there are many realms represented by many entities of glory, dominions, principalities, powers, rulers. This is one of our dominion. He came here and he began to live for pleasure. He's about to be cut off. And so from the day the man fell, the whole idea of legislation in Zion was an attempt to redeem him. And so Jesus showed up, and he knew what he was going to do to restore humankind back to their place, not in having fun, but in representing God as constituency agents that represents an aeon. But when he looked into the spirit, a lamentation came out of his spirit. He said, the harvest is truly, truly plenteous. He said, the laborers are few. And he now said, pray ye the Lord of the harvest, that he might send laborers into his harvest. And so the reason some of us became aware of serving God is not because we are smart. We came by prayer. We came by the priesthood of patriarchs. We came by the priesthood of the Christ himself. We came by prayer. We didn't come because we are wise. And so when a conference like this is put together, because we have realized that God has an agenda and we are representing that agenda, we know we need to pray for more to come. And so all of you seated here, number one, this conference is going to awaken you to the fact that you are not living here for fun. You are living here as a representative of the government of God. God wants to colonize the earth, and you are the agent that he is sending. You came by prayer. And if you fail in your duty as a custodian and an ambassador of heaven, United Kingdom will plunge into darkness. Even though there will be a lot of intelligent technological development in the realm where it matters, there will be disconnection. Because when time is accomplished and the nations are judged, some nations will be cut off. And the reason those nations will be cut off is because they didn't have representatives to stand in the gap in priesthood for God's influence to find expression. Have you looked at the landscape in recent time? People are fighting for what the Bible condemns. And they are passing laws and legislations to enforce what the Bible calls an abomination. The reason people can sit in government to pass those laws in the first place is because there's a depletion in priesthood. That means the ones who are there are no longer receiving signals that before they are in parliament, they are representing another government. So they are connected to the governments of the earth. They are not connected to the government of the heavens. But when a conference like this is put together, it's so that many ambassadors will rise. That when people are in parliament, they will discover that they are first of all representing a heavenly government before an earthly government. That when people are in the economy, they will realize that they are representing a heavenly government before an earthly government. Otherwise, the worship and memory of our God will become history. And one day people will say, once upon a time, there was a group of people that called on the name of one Jesus. But it will never happen. Because so long as you and I have breath, we will represent Jesus. Only Yeshua will reign forever. To your kingdom there is no end. There are kings, there are kingdoms, there are mountains, and there are thrones. Only Yeshua will reign forever. To his kingdom there is no end. There are kings, there are kingdoms, there are mountains,